Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Hokey smokes. I actually slept moderately well, and that's a good thing. I actually slept in an extra half hour. Usually I'm out of bed at 5:30 from discomfort. I actually was able to stay in bed until 6 o'clock. I wasn't sleeping, but at least I was relaxing. So thumbs up on that.
Sleep, Ophelia.
It is cold and gray outside. Definitely a good thing. I mean, it's the winter part of this section of the planet, so we should be cooler. Yay! Definitely a good thing on that. So, hopefully your day has been going well. And of course, front-loading of videos. Hey, if you could toss me a like, that'd be cool. If you could subscribe, that's English, I promise you. Subscribe to the channel, that'd be awesome. If you could leave me a comment, anything at all, even for the algorithm, that would be double plus good. And of course, I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These are beautiful and awesome people that literally help to keep me and however many pets I happen to have at the time, since I usually have a hamster, but my last hamster perished. So, but you are keeping all of these patrons, keeping me alive, and that is very cool. If you would like to help me alive, I have links to my Patreon in the video description, along with a PayPal for possible donations, a Amazon wish list, I can think, with stuff like pet food on it, and a post office box where if anybody sends me anything at all, even just a postcard, I'll show it off on camera. Thumbs up for that, and front loading of videos over. Hokey smoke. So yeah, I actually slept, and that's a good thing. So cool. A very, very good thing. Past that, there are a couple just minor weird things, and then I want to talk about big things about the whole creative stuff. But on the weirder, slightly weirder front, there was a time for months and months and months that the very moment I would wake up, the very second I would, there would be the soundtrack for Strafe would start playing in my head. My favorite song of the Strafe soundtrack would instantly start playing the moment I became conscious. Now it is Unholy Voices from the Blood soundtrack. The moment that I get even partially conscious, it just goes dum ba da da dum inside of my head again. It is constantly playing inside of there, which is good because I enjoy the music. I hate it when the songs that I don't like will play. Oh boy, there's one of them, I don't even want to get it started in my head, but it was a very popular song from like the 60s or 70s or such, and it's a horrible earworm, and I hate the song. I hate it. Thumbs up for that. Now, this one I want to mention because it goes somewhere that you don't expect. It may sound like, oh my gosh, listen to this, but it's not going to go where you think. I saw a picture of an attraction in, I think it's Japan, where you get to zip line into a gigantic, like, Godzilla head. And so you zip line down into its mouth and all that. My retweet of that was, I don't care about the zip lining, I just want to be eaten by Godzilla. And it's true, but not for the reason you would think. This isn't a vor thing at all. If Godzilla was real and did rampage and do things, but also ate people, yeah, I would want to be one of those people that got eaten by Godzilla. Why? Every single day, we have 24 hours in a day, and you can reimagine yourself and represent yourself to the world. You have a chance to live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year, however many years are in your life. You can reimagine, reinvent, and be. But you only get a chance to die once. If Godzilla is real and eats people, the number of people eaten by Godzilla is a small fraction and getting smaller all the time because world population is always growing. If you're someone that gets eaten by Godzilla, you are in a very select and private club. Only a tiny fraction of human beings ever get to die by being eaten by Godzilla. And everybody else doesn't. If you get a chance to join that ultra exclusive club, why wouldn't you? Hokey smokes. I mean, we're all gonna die anyway. And here's an opportunity where you get to choose your fate and your destiny. Everybody gets a chance to die only once. If you get a chance to die in a way that is so exclusive as that, why wouldn't you? As stated, the number of people that Godzilla is going to eat is a finite number, but our species keeps growing all the time. You will be a member of an extremely exclusive club that is getting more exclusive every single day. Yeah, I'm going to be eaten by Godzilla. Thumbs up for that. Okay, now then, on there. I mentioned the other day in my recording for the solo RPG that I still want to do the story of Blorbo. Blorbo is the character. Unfortunately, today's little story here is going to put a little bit of sand in the gears on that, but it doesn't change what I liked and want to do with the character on the one thing. I'm going to talk about it because I doubt I'll ever actually do it. But in the story, the narrative becomes, because I was just searching and doing a hex crawl and exploring what was happening, there's an orc city. I got attacked by an orc later. So I figure if my character is a gnome, they're out exploring the world. They're seeing the world. As the son of a rich business person, noble person, they start to feel an itch. This life is unsatisfactory. So they tell their father that they need to go adventuring. They are sorry. They are not turning their back on this. But they have a feeling that they need to itch, and the life they're leading is just becoming more unsatisfactory. The father went through the same thing, went out adventured for a year. So how could the father do this and then say to their son, no, you can't? The father understands. So Blorbo, the character, starts the hex crawling adventure, sees things they never would have expected, looked upon an orc city, was just amazed. But then leaving, there's an orc there that thinks, oh, that gnome there would fit a nice spot on me belly then, wouldn't it? And decides it wants to take him on and eat him. A day or so later, attacked by the orc. So Blorbo is attacked by a seasoned orc. But using their rapier, they are actually able to defeat the orc. A gnome with a rapier stabs the orc to death. And I figure it's the thing where the orc is totally caught by surprise, and that blade going through them pierced a lot of important arteries and organs, and they're staggering around at first, just going unable to understand how that little gnome did this. And then they fall to the ground and they just bleed out. You know, it's a few deep breaths and then they're dead. And there's Blorbo. Now, I figure combat is not just a simple, I swing, you swing, I swing. No. It's like a metaphorical give and take on both sides. Blorbo took some damage. So this was about 30 seconds of back and forth and getting knocked down and dodging. So when Blorbo wins, yeah, he took some damage. He's covered in dust. There's some spots that are going to be bruises. He's got blood coming out of the corner of his mouth because he took some hurts. But his entire reaction is this, you thought you were going to kill me. You thought, but I killed you. Oh, you son. And just spitting on the corpse and just finally it's going, you thought you were going to kill me and I killed you. You thought you were going to eat me. I am gonna eat you! And then they do. They cut some steaks off of the body of the orc, and then they fry him up. And so they're sitting there with the cut up, slashed body of the orc, with a plate full of grilled orc meat, and just eating big old bites of that. And then talking to the dead orc. You know, it's like, oh, I thought this stuff was gonna taste terrible. No seasonings at all, but oh boy, this stuff, it's got. It's got the best seasoning of all. Fucking victory! I'm alive and you're dead! And then going on back with that again. Just, it's the best seasoning at all, of all. Oh my god, I feel so alive! Damn, I'm horny. And that is what happens with Blorbo. It's just being flooded with all these things where I'm alive, I won this battle, I'm gonna do to you what you were gonna do to me. And that's the story of Blorbo. If you want to know the actual full story of Blorbo and how things are going in Blorbo's life, second half of today's solo thing is going up with Blorbo as the main character. So thumbs up for that. Now as well, talking about things like that, I've also mentioned that a lot of the cryptid characters, they will pair up and become pair bonding, and sometimes it depends on whether or not they just want to have fun and enjoy their lives that way, or if, like with Alan and Clausy, they pump out litters of kits every single year, as she has. But as much as these individuals cannot think and act as we do, they still have love. It's just love that we wouldn't necessarily understand fully, because the relationship between Clausy and Alan has never actually killed anybody. He eats human beings. He's never killed a human being. He joins in with other people if they've killed and are eating, but he doesn't kill. He's a stick in a river. He just doesn't get caught up on things. But with Clausy, they have just been a pair. They really enjoy each other's company, even without doing things together. Just being with each other pleases each other. But Clausy and Alan, like many people, have of course their own love language. Clausy is always talking about eating Alan. Whether it's punishment, you need to move or I'm going to eat you. Or, oh, you've been such a good boy today. Ah, well, I'll make room in Mama's tummy and I'll eat you. But Alan just feels nothing but love when he hears this stuff. If Clausy didn't say that she was going to eat him several times a day, he would feel rejected. This is her love language. If she didn't talk about eating him, he would be worried. So relationships are interesting. And I've mentioned before, there is divorce. There are cryptids who have been together that will take themselves apart and as a couple. And it's not, as much as cryptids are instinctive, and it's not their own faults on that, but as much as there's still individuals that try to think as best they can. So even though they act often without being able to think about it, they try. Most divorces between cryptids are totally amicable. It's just that every once in a while they have a divorce where one just eats the other, and hey, you're divorced now, aren't you? But one of the things I wanted to keep going on about is the whole King and Crimson stuff. Flora Mew had mentioned something that I had kind of danced around, but not really mentioned and talked about. One of the things that goes on with the King and Crimson, they are not human. And because their body shape appears to be very fluid, because their height varies within a foot, you know, often within just walking across the room, yeah, they have a very uncanny valley body. It's extremely unnatural looking. The king is willing to go halfway to meet you on some fronts. Others, he will go, well, they will go all the way. You don't have to make any effort. They will pick things up and bring them to you. But when it comes to their appearance and such like that, you have to meet them halfway. They've got the mask. They wear their clothing that is, again, odd. It switches and flips and does stuff, and like the mask, the King in Crimson has no real memory of where the clothing came from, whether it's an extrusion of itself or something that it picked up like the mask. There was a time when it had no robe and clothing that changed, and then they did. No real what happened in memory times. I can't remember exactly where I was going to mention with things like that, but yeah, they do have that whole uncanny valley thing going on. Past that, I have troubles imagining what they look like and how quickly it works. I mean, I don't know what they look like myself. What I mean is the actual body as it does things. So, yeah. I mentioned that the clothing just changes, from leaning against the wall to turning around. It can go from brown, non-distinct robes to brightly colored faux Egyptian type stuff. You never see the king's skin. Nobody who's not on the trusted staff where the king goes during their off hours knows what the king looks like. And the king inspires incredible loyalty. One of the things about being on the staff is you are told that it is not illegal to tell anybody what they see. You can say what the king looks like. You can say what the interior of the place looks like. But the thing that actually strikes terror into the hearts of the trusted human staff is the king has said, you can do these things. And I won't be angry, but I will be disappointed. And that right there is enough to make them just go, oh no, no. Anything else I can handle, not that. Extreme loyalty. And thumbs up on that. And again, I want to talk about Utok, but now I have no time. Just remember that Utok is an incredibly powerful being that interacts with the King in Crimson quite often, but Utok is a very strange individual, extremely powerful, extremely alien, but they form human bodies, and then they can push a portion of their consciousness into that body. Even though it is still Utok, it is experiencing life as if that body was alive. Something that Utok would not even experience because they are so big is, when you're human, sometimes overwhelming. And that feeling is just fascinating for Utok. The limitations of being human also open up the world to be so amazing, because Utok is on their own just so big, like a huge spotlight. Compared to Utok, we're just candles. And when you just have candlelight, oh, you can see the details of the world that a spotlight just washes out. So Utok, although they care nothing about humanity and human life other than how we will be feeding them, they only care about us as a food source. Experiencing the world as we do is something that they are just fascinated by. And even though they torment the King in Crimson a lot, they also have learned to value their interactions with the King. And they don't want to jeopardize that. And hopefully I'll speak more about that tomorrow, because right now I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments on my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce your username, no disrespect is intended, and even though I count American Sign Language, even though I have my vocal cords fail all of a sudden in mid-speech, I can't even remember what I was saying. So let me call up my Chrome. We have Cake, thumbs up, thank you very much, and good to see you in the comments. Hopefully you enjoyed today's talk as well. Floramu, thumbs up, good to hear you, and good to see you, and hopefully you enjoyed my speaking today. J-A-Y, thumbs up, and very, very cool. I am very, very glad. One day I'm going to actually read the comments that I'm actually answering, but that day isn't today. We have Chris, thumbs up, thank you very, very much, greatly appreciated. Shinra, I do have issues reading, but I can. It just takes me a whole lot longer. I used to have a book for every room, and I used to be reading constantly, everywhere, all the time. It's so much harder to read anymore. I still can, it's just, I love ADHD. Young Gaming 1011, thumbs up, thank you very, very much. Ben B, greatly appreciated, thumbs up, thank you much, and good to see you. Did I already thank Floramu? Floramu, thank you very much anyway. The stuff that you talk about is very, very cool. Thank you. And then we have Jesse Koskinen. Always good to see you in the comments, my friend. It is appreciated. Yogeshwaran, I appreciate seeing you back in the comments again. Hopefully I've pronounced your name even halfway good. And either that or your name is close enough to somebody else's that with my ADHD, it has clicked onto that. So either you're new and wondering why I'm welcoming you back, or you're being welcomed back. So thumbs up. Oh, I have a brain, I promise. 10 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours. Thumbs up, thank you much. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. Just as well, if you've watched this far, that is appreciated as well. Nobody forces you to do so, so if you have, greatly appreciated. So I'm going to do as best I can today, and that's a good thing. Hopefully you can do the best that you can today. Try to do what you can, and if you can't, don't beat yourself up about it. And always take appropriate precautions for your location and your situation. If people are being sick, take a precaution so you don't get sick or make others sick. If people are getting hurt, well, I would not go there, or at least I take appropriate precautions if I'm going there. And if I was out walking and I heard that mournful howl of the bus with my name on it, that horn a-blaring, getting closer in the fog, well, I'm just gonna hunker down and get ready for the impact, because I know I'm gonna get smeared on the landscape. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing.